My medication, it runs $20,000 a month without insurance. I make $800 a month.
My whole house is on Medicaid.
Okay.
My husband, me, our baby daughter. Okay, we're all on Medicaid. Without Medicaid, I wouldn't be able to have the birth control in my arm.
He needs to come down on our level and live like we do. He wouldn't survive, I'm afraid.
Do you have Medicaid right now?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was just approved a few weeks ago.
UCare has withdrawn from Medicaid, impacting 11 Minnesota counties and around 88,000 Minnesotans.
No tax on overtime. Promises made and promises not kept.
So Maga is crying because Medicaid is cut off them. These are the same people beginning of the year that were saying, it's okay, DJT can literally take away Obamacare. Just for them to find out that Obamacare is what has been making their lives simpler. They are the same people beginning of the year that trashed Joe Biden. That you see, he has done nothing for us, most especially the white people. Well, ladies and gentlemen, surprise, surprise. If Obamacare did nothing for the whites, I guess now taking away Medicare will prove that, after all, it was nonsense, right? Oh, we would think so. But Maga, ladies and gentlemen, is on the internet crying that how dare DJT cut our Medicaid. And that's the one lady who even dared to open her mouth and say, he does not care about us, the poor people. He should come to our shoes and understand our situation. Ma'am, excuse me. Who? DJT? Come to where? On your level? To put himself in whose shoes? Have you seen him in the hood? Nah, he doesn't have the time. He does not have that time. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we go on to watch this video, I need you to let me know what you think in the comment section. What else is going to be cut off Maga for them to actually realize it's the end of the world for them? I mean, this situation is so crazy. I've seen someone part of the LGB. You understand what I mean? I don't want to say it because YouTube, you know, yeah, YouTube is censoring me. Saying that, you know what, I voted for DJT, but like I've been literally relying on Medicaid so I can get my bosom surgery. Say what?
This is crazy. I know we're not Kirk County. I know we're not Kerrville. I know we're not San Angelo or San Antonio. But hell, we're human beings. Help us. Give us what we need. We are a older community. A lot of our people don't have insurance. They don't have money. Kind of a forgotten community for Travis County. We're unincorporated. We are their unwanted stepchildren out here, unfortunately. We had no warning. Nobody notified us. 2:30 in the morning, people that could get out came to this parking lot. Nobody was here. No firefighters, no police, nobody. We did not see Travis County sheriffs until 10 o'clock the next morning, who were rolling through and saying, you all need to evacuate. I opened a TikTok page, walking through HEB, buying non-perishable groceries, saying, we need help. Get me the media. Get me some official. Get me water. Get me anything we need, please. We have nothing. And I'm just trying to do whatever I can. I've had people stop me this morning and say, here's some more water, take it with you. Here's some more food, take it with you. Like, this is what we do out here as a community. But for God's sakes, Travis County, help us. Don't treat us like we're nothing out here, because we're not. We're human beings. We pay taxes out here. Don't treat us like this.
That would kill millions of people in this country if they lose their health care.
He needs to come down on our level and live like we do. He wouldn't survive, I'm afraid.
Do you have Medicaid right now?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was just approved a few weeks ago.
You know, there's this narrative that a lot of people on Medicaid are lazy. Do you feel that's accurate?
No, absolutely not.
No, I'm not lazy. I try to get a hustle as much as I can.
No, I think they just can't help themselves.
Well, no, because I work. I do mechanic work, and so it kind of fluctuates. I have a bunch of health problems. I can work, but eventually I'll be where I can't work.
Just got laid off.
I'm a hairstylist, so it really just depends on how much I bring in due to my clientele. I'm currently trying to get like a part-time job, like a night job, just to put more money on the table, especially with the economy going up in prices and stuff.
Can you tell me about how it would affect you if you lost your Medicaid coverage?
Oh, Lord, I would have absolutely, totally nothing. I would not be able to live, period. I wouldn't even be able to eat.
It would affect me real bad because I can't support myself.
It'd be a very big impact because that's all we got right now.
I have some possibly terminal illnesses, and I've had to postpone it waiting for Medicaid. And I'm sitting here literally just trying to survive.
I wouldn't have no coverage at all. My grandchildren wouldn't have any coverage. My daughter wouldn't have any coverage. And we can't just go to the doctor as needed.
I'm curious if you could say something to Representative Johnson about cutting Medicaid, what you might say to him.
Well, Speaker Johnson, I can only say this. If you ain't had the shoes on your feet to see what it feels to be like under these conditions, then you won't never know it. Come out here and stay a little while.
Part of that bill would also give tax breaks to the richest 5%. So billionaires would pay less in taxes. How do you feel about that?
It's basically let's keep the rich rich and the poor poor. They have the money to pay for it. So why would you make them pay less?
They're going to stay a billionaire, and then we still going to be poor.
78 million Americans have Medicaid. That is 20% of the population. Wait a minute, Christina. Wait. 20% of the population has Medicaid. How can that be? Did you know that Medicaid is not called Medicaid in every state? Uh-oh, you didn't think about that. In Alaska, Medicaid is called Denali Care. In South Carolina, Medicaid is called Healthy Connections. In Tennessee, Medicaid is called TennCare. In the red state of Arkansas, it's called Health Care. In Alabama, it's called Alabama Medicaid. In Iowa, Medicaid is called Iowa Health Link. In the red state of Virginia, Medicaid is called Cardinal Care. 78 million Americans have Medicaid. How many of those Maga have Medicaid and they're too dumb to even know it?
Medicare has withdrawn from Medicaid, impacting 11 Minnesota counties and around 88,000 Minnesotans. This will impact those that are on prepaid medical assistant program as well as Minnesota Care. However, seniors or people with disabilities will not be impacted. The 11 counties that they are withdrawing from Medicaid from are Benton, Chisago, Crow Wing, Pennington, Ramsey, Roseau, Sherburne, Stearns, St. Louis, Wallina, and Wright County. They said they are withdrawing from these 11 counties because there are 2 other health options available through Medica or Blue Plus, and they will start helping people transition to these plans. UCare said in a statement that they are not getting the reimbursement that they need from the government to cover the rising costs of healthcare, and being enrolled in Medicaid at this point is not sustainable. As we know, rural areas get hit the hardest when healthcare costs rise because most people in rural areas are on Medicaid. Medicaid is what keeps hospital doors open. However, if health insurance companies are losing money drastically, they will unenroll from Medicaid, leaving people without health insurance and ensuring that hospitals in rural areas will shut down because they simply cannot afford to stay open. Now, this will probably be an even bigger trend come 2026 when those Medicaid cuts come into play from the big, beautiful bill. Minnesota is set to lose $500 million in federal funding for Medicaid, which is going to have a huge impact on healthcare here in Minnesota.
My whole house is on Medicaid.
Okay.
My husband, me, our baby daughter. Okay, we're all on Medicaid. Without Medicaid, I wouldn't be able to have the birth control in my arm.
You might not have the luxury of that kind of birth control, but there's other contraceptives that are affordable and free that don't require Medicaid.
Without Medicaid, I wouldn't be able to have the antidepressants that I have.
Well, a quick Google search shows that there are generic antidepressants that are as low as $7 a month.
At no cost to me.
That's great, but they're a cost to someone.
Without Medicaid, I wouldn't be able to go to therapy to continue to be the mom I am to the 3 kids and 2 separate houses that I have to do.
There's a lot of different types of therapy out there, and you know what? There's a lot that are on sliding scales. You might have to be more creative, but you're not going to go without.
Without Medicaid, my husband wouldn't be able to go and get the medications that he needs and the treatment that he needs for his disability.
That might be true, but this woman's videos are all about her husband's disability, and she's yet to tell us what her husband's disability is, so who knows?
Not a single person in my house would have health care.
Okay, but at some point you've got to start asking yourself why. We're not a socialist country just because we have socialist programs. Medicaid is designed to be temporary. It's not a lifetime thing. I'm all for people using these services temporarily, but that's the key word, temporarily. These are never designed to be permanent. At some point, you're going to have to take accountability and maybe make some life changes, maybe make a career change, do something different so that your family can have those types of benefits that you're saying that you need.
We need Medicaid. And if you live in America, everybody deserves free healthcare.
False. Everyone deserves good healthcare. Good healthcare comes with a price. If you want a socialist healthcare system, go live in a country that has it. If you want good healthcare, find a way to pay into the system.
Just did some monthly budgeting, and it's in my best financial interest if I just died. That's it. Like, based on the numbers, my biggest money saving move would be to stop existing. Rent is disrespectful. Groceries, robbery. Gas, I don't even know where it's going anymore. Do they use fake gasoline? Like, I filled up yesterday and somehow I'm on E already, both emotionally and financially. After all my bills, I had, $37.43 left over, so I treated myself to panic and regret. I looked at my fun money category and it just said, be serious.
People on Medicaid don't look like what you picture in your head. I am on Medicaid. My family is part of the 3.1 million North Carolinians who are on Medicaid. And I will tell you right now, it has been a godsend for my family. I do not know how we would survive financially without it. I lost my job in July of 2024, July 12th. We are almost to the 1 year point of me being unemployed without full-time employment. And Medicaid has helped keep my family afloat because there are medical issues in my family that needed to be addressed and was not able to continue to pay for COBRA. I had very good insurance at my old job. I had a very good paying job with great insurance. And I was paying $3,000 out of pocket every month for the first 3 months for COBRA to keep that insurance. And that was not sustainable. And I had a lot of issues personally thinking about applying for Medicaid because how much money I used to make and thinking, well, Medicaid is for people who don't make much money and who really need help. But the truth is, I needed help and I had to swallow my pride. And my family needed that help, and it has been so helpful. And now I don't know what's going to happen. I have spent the past 12 months applying for jobs nearly every day, networking, interviewing for jobs, being contacted by recruiters who then ghost me and don't even show up for the interview time that they set up. The job market is that bad. Medicaid is not about people who are lazy. It's about people who need help. And right now, my family has needed help. I don't know what North Carolina is going to do about Medicaid. I know the state can't afford to fund it at the same way it had been. And hopefully for me and my family, one of these jobs I'm interviewing for lands, and that's our ticket off of Medicaid and to health insurance once again. But I know that that's my case. If I'm that lucky, there's still literally millions of others across the state who won't be so lucky, and millions more across the country. And I realize there are parts of this big, beautiful bill that will probably help me once I get a job. Like, that's not lost on me. But please understand that there are millions of people out there who probably look just like you, might be your neighbor, might be one of your best friends who you have no idea is on Medicaid because they really want to work. They're willing and able to, but they haven't gotten that opportunity. So before you shout from the rooftops that this piece of legislation is passed, just think about those that it is going to affect in a negative way.
A lot of y'all gonna be in for a rude awakening when you realize that your United Healthcare card is Medicare and Medicaid is just being managed by United Healthcare. Y'all are really not realizing that you are in danger like everybody else. Just because you don't call it Medicaid don't mean it ain't Medicaid. TennCare, that's Medicaid. Medicare, that's Medicaid. Soonacare, that's Medicaid. Badgecare, that's Medicaid. HealthLink, that's Medicaid. All of it is Medicaid. They just call it something different. Now, some states like Alabama just say Alabama Medicaid. Georgia, Peach Care, that's Medicaid. All of it is Medicaid. And sometimes Medicaid and Medicare plans are managed by bigger companies. So you might see Blue Cross and Blue Shield on your card, but it's actually still Medicaid or Medicare. So don't be up here on your high horse thinking you won't fall, because, baby, you're going to be out there trying to do some herbal remedies yourself when you lose your health care. Do not, and I repeat, do not get way too comfortable or stick your nose so far in the air, because it might rain.
You're telling me that if the big, beautiful bill passes, I will lose everything.
Well, it did pass and you still have all the same rights.
I will lose the bottom surgery that I have been on a wait list for 2 years.
Nope, you can still mutilate your body if you choose to.
So you were telling me that people are unaware, they're unaware that the whole reason why hospitals are not allowed to turn you away in an emergency situation, regardless of your ability to pay, is because of the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, which states that hospitals who receive Medicare funding are not allowed to turn you away. And they are proposing to cut back on Medicare and Medicaid. Talk to a caseworker. There are no ineligible people who are receiving it. The only people who are receiving it are eligible because there is a vetting process.
Did your member of Congress make money cutting Medicaid? Let's find out. All right, so last week, Trump's big, beautiful bill passed Congress, which would cut $1 trillion from Medicaid over the next 10 years. While negotiations were underway, 4 members of Congress sold stocks in a healthcare company, Centene. Now, Centene partners with state governments to administer Medicaid programs, and guess what? The big, beautiful bill passed, and Centene stock fell by over 40%. But weeks before the dip, before the market knew how severe these Medicaid cuts were going to be, 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats sold their stock. On the Republican side, it was Rep. Rob Bresnahan and Representative Jefferson Shreve, who both voted in favor of the big, beautiful bill. And on the Democratic side, it was Rep. Gil Cisneros and Representative Ro Khanna, who both voted in opposition to the big, beautiful bill. Now, these were smaller trades, all under $15,000, and members of Congress like Ro Khanna will say their spouse handles their financial trades, they're done by a third party.
I don't trade at all. It's my wife's money, which I have no actual legal rights to.
But look, the people, we don't care. I don't think any of their votes were influenced by the stock trade, but they still benefited. And we know that's wrong, which is why we have to ban members of Congress and their spouses from trading individual stock.